Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to Naomi's birthday celebration and celebration of life. Hey, I've got some guests here in the green room, so let's jump right into it. I've got from Michigan, Debo Bricks. Hey, Debo, how are you?
Oh, doing pretty good, PT. How you doing, yo?
I'm good.
Good.
Let me grab. We've got across the pond there in the UK from Kent. We got Matthew Builds Bricks. Hey,
Hello,
Matthew.
everybody. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Matthew.
And near
Hello,
the
Dima.
and near the Portland area, we have Grant Royal Bricks.
Hey.
Hey, how are you doing, sir?
Doing well. Glad to be here.
Just north of Seattle, we have Danine Brickworm.
Hi.
Hello. And we have Yano's going to be joining. She's having some technical difficulties, and so right there, she'll be joining us when she jumps in. Other than that, I see the chat's already up. I see Glenn Copeland there in the chat. How you doing, Glenn? Little shout out there.
Yay.
Oh, we got Caleb. Hey, Caleb. Oh, you just tried to check the builds. Okay, we'll have to take a look at that. Zach Martinez. Hello, Zach. Brick Jedi. Kathy Crowley. Monica Berry. Well, hello, everyone. Oh, Brickaroo Banzai. Genitara. All right. Is that see you later? See you later. Have Studs Will Travel. All right. Wow. There's a good crowd coming in. Thank you, everyone, for showing up and celebrating our dear friend. So we'll go ahead and start. I'm going to ask, we'll do a round robin here. Ask the crew what you guys think. Tell me about the first time you guys met Naomi. And I'll just start with Debo since you're right there, first one on the lot.
Yeah. So my first time ever seeing Naomi was once I got on board with the whole Tricky Bricks phenomenon that was going on at the time. I started watching some past episodes, and it wasn't too long after Mother's Day. And then I saw that like she was one of the people that they had on, for something around that time. And then I was like, oh, that's an interesting individual. And then sure enough, I started tuning in and watching them every week, and then getting into the build challenges. And then Sewer Baby was taken off at this point, like first couple builds in, and yeah, and then everybody just became this kind of huge family, and we just all started talking, and Naomi got deep off into the Sewer Baby lore, and then had a collaboration with me with like Super Brainy Baby and Super Cocoon Baby. And then there was this whole Marvel explosion crossover going on in my city with time traveling portals between her place. It was just wild. And then we started doing rebrick this builds. I encouraged her to get on YouTube. She encouraged me to get on Instagram. So yeah, there was a whole lot going on there. But yeah, it was good times. And then we did the rebrick this challenge many times, and then she got her late night Twitch streams going, so I hung out in those a lot. We're talking like 3-4 hour streams.
Yeah.
And then yeah. So
well, that's good. Thanks, Debo. Oh, she is here. Let me get Yano on just a second, everyone. Welcome, Yano.
Yeah.
Hi. So sorry I'm late. I somehow still had like 500 feet of Ethernet cable. I had to hardwire my internet.
Hey, we're lucky you had it. Yay.
Well, let me jump real quick. Monica Berry says she also met her through Tricky Bricks. Loved her stories. Got involved in the build challenges. Very nice. All right. Matthew, you want to talk about the first time?
Okay, yeah. So, same as Debo, I first became aware of her on Tricky Bricks on the chats. And then I first met her on the first Tricky Lug Zoom meeting. I was a bit early, and they was talking about my Lego City at the time, which I was dismantling. And it just went from there, really. We did a collab, me and Fourth World Adam, on the cute but creepy Forest Friends. Then we did gifts exchanges with our families, and just, yeah, good times. Like Debo says, it was so much fun. Different streams, like I'm sure you remember the dance party, Debo, on the stream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just all, and obviously all our fun characters as well. But yeah, fun times.
Perfect. Thank you, Matthew. All right,
No,
Grant. When did you meet Naomi?
I think my first time that I saw her was during the Bricks by the Bay, the first virtual con. So that was my first, like, she was doing moderating and all that stuff. So that was my first kind of viewership of Naomi. And then the time that I actually, plug for Bricks by the Bay. And I think my first in person was, I was talking to Yano, and Yano was like, "Hey, so let's meet up at Bricks and Minifig," because Yano had recently moved in, and then she knew that Naomi was coming through town, and so we just decided to meet up at the local Bricks and Minifig. So that was, it was the, like, we're in public and there's other people around, but then there's like the three of us kind of like staking out little sections of our, like, going through and finding the good things, like tossing them over to each other. And like getting the full, like, Naomi experience of, like, just like how excited she is about things, and like getting to hear about, like, I think the first long story from her was talking about mock improv and the Thanos and Thanos in the litter box. So that was my full, like, okay, this is a fun person. to then, like, at the next mock improv, being invited to come join her. So yeah.
Yeah, no, actually, that's Glenn. Is funny because we had Glenn to thank about the litter box thing, and he actually says he can't remember the first time he encountered Brickanista, but it was probably either Tricky Bricks or Sort Lug, is where he recalls meeting. So very nice. Danine, what about you? When was your first meeting with Naomi?
I know exactly where I was when I met Naomi. It was at BrickCon 2019, so just before the pandemic. I actually got to meet her first live. We sat down for a women's Brick Initiative seminar, workshopy thing, and she was sitting on one side of me. Another good friend of mine that I met at that moment was sitting on the other side, and I didn't know anybody at the con, and this was my first brick convention, actually. And I had kind of gone on a lark. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go. I went ahead and got the full membership to pay, and sat in there. And Naomi, she's gonna talk to you. She's gonna become your friend if you're sitting next to her. And so we kind of chatted a little bit. She said, "Hey, did you bring anything to build? Like, you do at a convention?" And I go, "No, didn't really plan that far ahead. I just kind of came in and said, well, you can hang out with me at Micropolis." And I'm going, well, I have a thing I might be able to turn into a Micropolis. So that was Thursday. Friday, I brought in my Micropolis build, added it to the blocks, and we became fast friends. So.
Very nice. Very nice. Before I ask you the question, we have AA Legal Focus said she was glad we're celebrating, and also that didn't know Naomi was into Lego. Met her around 2005 in North Carolina. She was totally into Toastmasters. That's right. She was an international director for Toastmasters. That's how involved she was. And she used some of those connections. I know some of those people through Toastmasters on some of the shows, especially when we were doing the New Zealand reviews. Some people from down in New Zealand that she met on her travels. So, well, welcome very much. All right, Yano, when did you first meet Naomi?
That's a great question. I mean, it feels so gradual. Definitely, my earliest interactions were through Tricky Lug 2020. It was lockdown. I think that's when a lot of us really took off in our AFOLDom. And yeah, I was friends with Flynn and Richard, so like I was very associated with them on Tricky Bricks, and doing their weekly challenges was such a great escape. And Naomi's was super prolific during that time. I wasn't doing them every week, but she was, and every week accompanied like a huge story. She was actually the reason that they had to limit the caption.
I remember that.
Because it would just go on, and Flynn would be trying not to laugh getting through reading it. And then so that was like pretty casual interactions. And then when I really got to know her, so that was right after season 1 of US Lego Masters. And then season 2 aired, and our friend Remy, Brick Literacy, he really wanted to do a recap show for season 2. And so he reached out to me and was like, I think you would be a great co-host. And like, I took a lot of convincing because I have a hard time like committing to things and showing up consistently. So I took a lot of convincing. And then like halfway through the season, he decided he needed a break from the Lego community and like dropped out. And of course, Naomi, who's like such a media master and her YouTube channel is really taking off, she reached out to me and was like, hey, I talked to Remy. He's cool if I take over the recap show, but I'd really love to do it with you to like keep some consistency. And so she and I recapped this, I guess, the second half of season 2 of Lego Masters together. And yeah, it was just such a blast, especially just getting to know each other like in those 10 minutes or so before, like chatting, getting ready together. We both had like a little bit of a theatrical background, so it was very much like that backstage experience where I've gotten to know a lot of my closest friends. And yeah, really just went off. And yeah, we hadn't met in person until quite a bit later when I actually moved to the same area as her and got to meet up.
Very nice. Thank you. Let's see. See you later says met Naomi through Tricky Bricks and then met her in person at Cascades 2022. Oh, very nice. I also know Lewis said he didn't know her well. Let's see, but he met her through the interview. He's a Lego Master doing the Lego Master interviews. And then he was a very show regular, watched the show constantly. So he was always in the audience giving feedback and whatnot. Let's see here. A few more. Where did I see? Oh, here we go. Jenna Tara said she met Naomi through Yano. Told her about the live stream. We laughed and made some puns throughout her stream. Too fun.
She loves the puns.
Love the puns. That is true.
Absolutely.
Well, we've got perfect. And I am going to bow out. Lene just showed up. I'm going to bring her in, and then I am going to let her tell us how she met Naomi.
I can piece out. You can bring her in because you're still doing the interview style, so feel free to.
Oh, okay. All right, Grant. You're a good man, sir. Thank you. Lene, welcome to.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
How
Renee.
are you tonight?
Good.
Good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. So we were asking everyone, what was the first time they remember meeting Naomi?
This all is very hard. So I'm trying to celebrate her life, but I can't lie, guys. It's hard. The first time I remember meeting Naomi, I think I was trying to go back. I think I met her through Alex. What is it? Alex 23 on IG. I think that's how I met her. He spoke so highly of her and he added me to a group chat. It was a group chat about technique or something. And he was just raving about her and he added me to that group chat. And that's how I was able to initially get to meet Naomi. So that was that one.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Oh, let's see. AA Legal Focus says Naomi was pretty ahead of her times because she changed her last name to honor her mother. I did know this. Her dad's last name is Wong. Yeah. And
PT, we didn't hear how you first met Naomi.
whoop, there we go. Naomi and I actually first met at Bricks by the Bay, and I the reason why I was kind of glossy because I said something on the Tricky Brick show when we first announced the news. We were she was there, and I was there with my son, and we were we had a micro bill, but not Micropolis standard. And then we kind of met with some people there. That was, I think, it might have been Bill Ward, and I think Evan White, I think, and her, and we were kind of talking Micropolis, and we were like, oh, hey, and we kind of got into it because we liked her and I kind of bonded. We like that standard, I guess, and just how there were some rules, and then there weren't rules, within the blocks, and so we kind of bonded over that, and that's how we first met. And then, of course, when COVID hit, and I think I mentioned we were going to do this fantasy, mega Micropolis thing. COVID hit, and so we didn't actually do it until 2022 for the show. So. But yeah, during that, we kind of did a lot of chats online and whatnot, and emailing back and forth. And so, yeah. And then, of course, we co-hosted her show. I was one of her co-hosts, one of many co-hosts over the years with her. So I was very honored to have that. But thank you, Danine. I'm going to jump. Yano, are you ready? I think
Give me just a minute. I'm continuing to accept requests as collaborators. People are still posting, so I'm trying to.
Gotcha. We were going to review some of these tributes that many of you did to Naomi, and by the way, it is her birthday today.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Naomi. This was one of her things when talking with her there in those final weeks, is she thought it would be neat to have a build challenge and celebrate it on her birthday. And so honoring her wishes, that's what we're doing here tonight. Let's see. Are you ready, Yano?
I think so, yeah.
All right. Let's gonna add this to the stage here. Woo! Here we go.
Oh.
So yeah, this might be a little bit clunky, just because I'm screen sharing from Instagram, but I wanted to start at the earliest post. And I mean, unsurprisingly, with her impact, people started posting tributes before she even before there was like an official announcement that there was a contest, or not a contest. There will be a winner tonight. And so just starting at our earliest, we've got, of course, she interviewed so many Lego Masters. And sorry, we are going to start this over. So this was a very lovely ukulele tribute.
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye. Remember me, don't let it make you cry. For even if I'm far away, I'll hold you in my arms. I'll sing a secret song to you each night we are apart. Remember me, though I have to travel far. Remember me, each time you hear a sad guitar. Know that I'm with you the only way that I can be, until you're in my arms again.
Aww.
That was so when we interviewed Melanie and oh wait, why is her teammate not coming to my head?
Allison?
Yes, Allison and Melanie. So of course during the show they were singing and all the stuff. They had their ukuleles. Naomi had just bought a ukulele that it had to kind of with that piece of wanting to kind of jam along with Melanie, and so she actually brought it out at the end and like unboxed it and stuff, and so Melanie knew that as soon as she heard about it, she had to play the ukulele for her.
Sweet. Very sweet.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, so that was the first person that collaborated. There were a few posts chronologically, and then the next person that collaborated with the Brickanista tribute page is another Lego Master. I mean, I love just all of the Lego Masters knew Naomi through being interviewed by her, so it's really sweet to just see everyone. This is Corey Sam Sprago. So in this, he's saying that that he was holding a contest to make Bregos, which are these brooches, these Lego brooches that he makes. And so my understanding from this, correct me if anyone knows has a different understanding. I think Naomi designed this inspired by his Bregos.
Yep.
Which is really cool. And so he not only posted that one, but also instructions for how to build it. So if anyone wants to build Naomi's Brego, this is her design.
That's awesome.
And then Dutch Hooded One is another Tricky Lug member. Debo, do you want to talk about this? Because this is part of the challenge that you hosted, right?
Yeah. This was, it was all Naomi's idea, and I just kind of went along with it. But no, she had this idea that came about, and it just taking a set, preferably something $10 to $20, and just turning it into, just rebricking the whole thing into something else entirely. And so this is when we did the Captain America mech armor challenge, and that was when a few people did a few different builds, but this was a great starship. And yeah, those went on for quite some time. And I think that bend towards those Marvel mech sets is kind of where the Thanos litter box thing really took seed from. Because she also used those. She was really economically minded when it came to challenges and things. So she'd base the rebrick this off of what the Thrifty Thursday set was sometimes, and then she'd just kind of keep getting as much mileage as she could out of different sets, and that was kind of the idea behind the rebrick this, is to see what else you could make with these bricks before you either put them away or just set them on a shelf. So yeah, it was a great thing to be a part of.
Yeah, definitely. Really clever parts usage, and she inspired so much creativity.
Yeah, that was my first kind of foray into doing the challenges, and it was actually that Captain America one, and I remember I was so I started, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this done, and I tried 20 different ways the first time. Nope. I put it away for a while. Came back to it. Oh, here we go. And then I think it was actually Debo and her both commented saying the amazing. I'm like that's sometimes we have to put those away. And I'm like, that was, I loved that kind of encouragement. That's always yeah.
Oh yeah. And the great thing about that too is when you do a build and you post it and you be like, oh, I can find something else in this, and so we get people 3 and 4 times just rebuilding the thing and submitting it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I can even give a little insight too into the origin of May the Clutch Be With You, because I was there that night.
Okay.
So this is this is deep off into the AMs for me, but closer to midnight for the West Coast. And the Twitch streams, which ran 2 hours, 4 hours, pretty much however long she felt like going for, and the longer they went, the stranger they got. So,
That happens.
So yeah, and I think the origins kind of seeds were planted by Cornado, because everybody started becoming like a Star Wars character. So I was R2-D2, and
I remember that.
Yeah, and things like that, and then we just started talking about the Force, and then talking about what the Lego equivalent of the Force would be, which would be the clutch. So then me, how I just riff on things until it's ad nauseum. I was just throwing things out. I threw that out, and she latched onto it hardcore. And then from that minute on, she clutched right on. And then it was there forever after that. Yeah. So it was a very wild and slightly delirious night. But I was there. Cornado was there in the chat. Arad, I can't remember if you were there. I think there was another techno person with something in their name. There were a few people in there that night, but it was who knew what we were getting into at that
right. Yeah, so this is Boone's post. Boone Builds did a lot of graphic design for the Lego community. So this was, I believe, Naomi sent him a picture of what she wanted this to look like.
Oh, cool.
And he was able to design the stickers for her. And it's unclear from this post, but I imagine that this is a photo that Naomi sent to Boone once the stickers arrived.
Yeah,
which is really, really sweet. Just like
I think that's his hand. I think that's him.
Is that Boone? Okay, so maybe Boone ordered them for her too, and then dropped them off.
I think that's just. I think she gave them to him, and then that's what he has at his house.
They look really glossy.
Yeah, and yeah, she was just so generous with her stickers. Always, leaving them as trophies at conventions and giving them out to people, sending them in the mail. I have a couple sets because, like, anytime she would send me a letter, she'd just put more stickers in.
You always get the pair.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Yeah, she was very excited through Boone's whole process. She clued me in on it. She's like, "Oh, he's gonna come back with these stickers." I'm like, "That's hardcore going for the stickers," but
very sweet.
Absolutely.
She even did a magnet. So I have a
I did a
magnet.
magnet. I didn't get a magnet.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got a t-shirt.
Yeah, so I have a little magnet.
That's awesome. Well, and Matthew, don't you have a shirt?
I do have a shirt.
Right.
She was trialing them out, and I was the first person to get one. I think it was
Ooh.
2022, maybe. I'm not sure, but I love that. She was always so generous, like you say, with her gifts and stickers. It was just unreal.
She really was.
So next up, this is Alexander 23Z, who Lene, I guess you're saying, introduced.
Yep, I believe so.
And
And
yeah,
the rest
he's
is history.
another Tricky Lug member that is just such a sweetheart and loves Lego and loves the Lego community. So it's a sig fig, her pirate sig fig. I love that she had a couple different pirate sig figs, or a couple different sig figs, and one was a pirate. And pirates is something that I, of course, have in common with Naomi too, and so I touch more on that at a later date. Then this, I think, so this is from EB Bricks, from Eddie. And I think this was actually the first post that I saw. This is reshared from the page, so it took a little bit to get up there, but it's just incredible work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's beautiful.
Wow. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Really nice.
So beautiful.
You might need to send Saul instructions for this one.
Right. What you don't see in this one is the love of the 49ers they're shared together. So
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. She and Eddie worked on with the Dream Builders lug. They worked on the whole month. I think it was last year, September. We had challenges just around football. Naomi recommended it, and I was like, "Oh, that's great. Our lug will do that." But I think it was the month of September. It was like preseason, August, I think. And she and Eddie had a blast. We always loved their exchange about the 49ers.
Sweet. Yeah, because Naomi did live in the San Francisco Bay Area as well before she was in the Pacific Northwest. And then this was the first of several posts from Spot the Magic Ninja, who's another Tricky Lug member and frequent guest on Mock Improv and some of her other streams. Panda Island.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Yes. And this was another early one that was shared by another Tricky Leg member, Monica Berry, 55.
That is so touching. Monica, that is very touching. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's great, Monica.
It really
I-
is.
Sailing off into the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Right.
so baby.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm fighting back tears.
Oh yeah, I mean, I
It's
cried
hard.
earlier today, so I might make it now, but
It's so hard.
I know. Yeah. So beautiful, Monica. This is really special.
Oh.
And I love she got Batman in there too. It's like Naomi's branding.
Bandits, Pirates, and Batman.
Right on.
Checklist.
Well done.
Covered it all.
I feel like that would be a roll call if she was a pirate.
And this is from Geekess with a Camera. And so it's talking about baby brick bunkers. So there's Portland's Bricks Cascade has a build challenge where it's like bunkers for the apocalypse that are built to a certain dimension. And then Naomi had the idea to have baby brick bunkers because everything was babies. So this is Geekess with a Camera being inspired by Naomi's character Super Sewer Baby and creating a sibling called Baby Poopy Head. And then Geekess with a Camera is also very into Ice Planet. So this was a photo that she had shared for the Daily Brick Limit, which is another challenge that Naomi co-hosted with Joriel Builds. So this was for the first day of the month, one piece, the Ice Planet chainsaw.
That's a good piece to pick for one.
Definitely.
Bat dog.
And here is one of Brickworm's pieces. Is she feeling up to redrawing?
Actually, that's Naomi's. That was so I posted that because now my brain is leaving me. Sorry. Somebody mentioned that they met Naomi through going through the Bricks Cascade loose brick and she was looking for a Batman tile. And that was for the Women's Brick Initiative. They were putting personalized versions of the wooden duck into a pond area, and Naomi obviously did Batman. So this is a shot of her duck version of Batman, or Bat Duck, maybe. I'm not sure. And you can see the tile right there that that was brought up. So, yeah, that's why that one got posted. That's one of Naomi's pieces.
Nice.
Good.
And then another Brickworm post.
Yeah, that one was me. That was she was sitting right next to me when I built that. This was at that first meeting, the first time I met her. We had pieces from the Lego Serious Play, which included those two eyeball pieces that usually go into the ducks so that you have the little side eyes on the ducks. And they had one minifigure in there, and I'm like, well, what happens if you do this and this? And it's like, okay, well, that's kind of cool, but it's kind of weird. It's kind of sad. So I added another one. So I think either hers or Allie's got added in together with it. So I'm not even sure which at the time, but I know she was sitting right there next to me when I built that. So that is about as close as I can get to her.
It's so touching. It's such an emotional image.
It's so moving for 6 pieces.
What I also love that look. It's the one is sad and the other is just they're supporting. It's like that's what I love. That's definitely Naomi right there.
Yeah. I agree.
Totally. Right. And so next up is Tumana Lego Master, who is a kid fan of Lego in New Zealand. And so it just goes to show how wide Naomi's reach has been. So this was, a K-Fole whose mom is really supportive and runs their Instagram account, and had seen Naomi talk to Zachary Steinman about his cubes. And I think he had done one of Naomi's 2-minute tech tips about how to make cubes.
Yeah.
And so that inspired this build.
Awesome.
Sweet. And another one from them. So this is one of the daily brick limit challenges, which was such a great entry point for people that might not have a lot of Lego or just starting out. It's really a non-intimidating way to build, which is so what Naomi is about, of just being approachable. And that, I think, is a record player from the. That's so good.
It is nice.
It's awesome.
Yes.
What a piece.
Matthew, are you feeling up for talking about this one?
Okay, yeah, I'm fine. So, this was just a photo we took for our Forest Friends collab. Oration. Obviously, I never met Naomi in person. We was perhaps talking about meeting up at Bill at some point this year, but obviously that never happened. But this is a picture with me and my dad, because my dad even came on in it a bit with the photography, and we had all different Santa hats on, so we just thought we'd make just a cool photo with that. And obviously she had a Yoda one on, as Steve was talking about. She loved a good bit of Star Wars. And then just the other photos are some of like the presents she sent me, some I sent her, just some of Kesara, her corgi, and some of the crocheted little animals that I commissioned from Softies by Grammy.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Very sweet.
This is so sweet. And you can see this. You sent this to her, right, Matthew?
Yeah. This was, I think that was about in 2020, I think, when we
I love
first did our present
see that.
exchange.
You can see it in the background of some of her videos hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
So sweet. Does anyone know the origin of her love of pandas, and what was the mascot's name? Pandy?
Pandy. Yeah.
No, not that I can remember.
Oh.
Sarah.
I also just want to say I'm loving the chat coming from all of our Toastmaster friends too. So I'm loving reading all those chats too.
Yeah, there was one
Thanks for
about
sharing that.
an epic party that she threw, I guess, at a Toastmaster convention in North Carolina, and she had a massive minion cake. Which that's yeah, that's too funny. And then it looks like Kathy Crawley was her PR person when she was district governor, so she was on her team when she was there. A lot of fun.
Hey, Kathy.
It's really sweet that y'all are here. All her communities coming together.
Exactly. That's what she would have wanted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She was so amazing at bringing people together from all walks of life.
Yep.
Absolutely. Brickworm, did you want to say anything about this one?
There's a story with this one. So I sent my sister put a call out looking for sig figs to put into a build she's taking to Chicago in a couple weeks. And so I put together my sig fig, my fig and my brickworm fig. And I told her, hey, I have one of Naomi. I can put it in there too. So I put all three of them into an envelope and took it to the post office. Well, and it's being shipped off to Michigan. So like Naomi often does, she has taken me someplace completely different than I expected to go, because we don't know where that package is. And it has not, I sent it like 2 weeks ago and it hasn't arrived. So we're actually on the hunt for it.
Okay. Then, I mean, obviously this is just an infographic, but shout out to Brad Bergman, who's on the last season of Lego Masters, Brick-a-Brad, who designed this graphic of Naomi's sig fig. Super cute.
Love it.
Yeah, there was one time. So we were both on when Brad was. It was Brad and Mike, and he had made both of our sig figs. And there was one where my hair came flying off because of her speakerphone. So I that was the starting intro for that show.
Amazing. And speaking of that sig fig, which actually I think I know the origin of this sig fig, which y'all might know.
Ooh, nice, sure.
Okay.
So one of the first convention that I went to was in 2020 lockdown, and God, I'm blanking now on which one it was. I want to say it was BrickCan, but there was a video component because it was virtual. You could like upload your video to the convention, And Naomi has a very touching, mostly live action film that has an animated sequence with, of course, a Lego baby. And it's kind of surreal and an interesting take. It's on her YouTube channel if you dig for it. And she won the award for Best Brick Film at that convention. And the trophy had a director figure that was this figure from the neck down.
Okay.
But it was male presenting figure. And so she was like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is my director's sig fig. And so she just swapped out the head and hair on it.
That is totally cool. I did not know why she switched. She went from the pirate to, I call it the studio.
Yes, studio.
Yeah.
But I
That's
love
the sig fig I have.
on Brad here that she did. She's got like the the like Lady Lego torso with the little shadow for the curves. the original torso doesn't have that. And speaking of that sig fig, this next one is this gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Eric's in the chat. He, I believe he did this, right?
Yeah.
He painted this. Yeah. If you go to BrickCon, most of the T-shirt designs, some of that is from Eric. He does a lot of that.
Cool. Eric, I haven't seen the pirate sig fig painting that you did. If you have a photo of that and are able to share it, I would love to see that as well. So that was her original commission, and then I guess she had talked to him about commissioning this one, and it hadn't happened yet. So we finished this and posted it just last month. It's really sweet.
Yeah, he just said that he does. He also-
Cool. And then this one's from Lady McBrick.
Oh, cool. That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's an approximation of her sig fig with pieces available. Really love all the gems. And Rick Brickham, another guest and member of the AFOL community.
So beautiful.
And this photo of her holding this graphic, this became Naomi's headshot.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if y'all are aware, but like all of her YouTube videos have this picture of her that she's edited out the background. And so of course Naomi has an IMDb page that she made for herself, and it's even that image on her IMDb page, which I love. Yeah, Rick on a stream with her.
Oh yeah, Rick.
And a note that she sent with the sticker, and some of his daily brick limit posts, which are some really, really clever ones.
Oh, I love the Peppa Pig one.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
That's awesome.
Perfect. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Naomi was a big note writer. She would write thank you notes for some of the things that I felt like you didn't need a thank you note for. She was constantly doing that, and I'm sure I don't know where all that came from, but I'm sure it also involves her Toastmasters upbringing, where you just she's such a giver.
Like this board that I decorated back here, it's filled with all different cards, postcards. That she just sent, like you say, the name, thank you cards, get well soon cards when I had COVID, just everything. She was so kind.
Yep. Oh, and this is one of mine. So I've gotten really into customizing minifigures as kind of my main thing, because it's just easier to accomplish in a short amount of time. Really just in the last couple of years, that's become more of a focus. And so I thought it would be really fun to take her original Super Sewer Baby character, and as if he had grown up, what he would look like as a full figure instead of just a little baby figure. And so that's his enemies, which was part of Tricky Lug had a rebrick this challenge of a little city street sweeper set. So this is the origin of, I'm not sure when Super Sewer Baby came to be. Maybe Debo would know that, but I know.
Earlier than that.
What was that?
It was earlier than this one, but yeah.
Right.
I think there was a mythology build where it was like the ancient sewers, and Super Sewer Baby was down in the aqueducts.
Of course.
That's the origin story. That's pretty good.
And then the origin of the villain, the janitor, and the brushies came about because of this Rebrick challenge. And so I decided to, and then Gurmy was a rat sidekick, which was just like the little rat piece. But yeah, I just thought it would be fun to create these these versions of the characters.
No, I laughed when I saw this one. I thought that was absolutely funny. Like growing up.
I wrote a whole caption in there that I tried to kind of channel Naomi's absurdism of storytelling. And then I really just thought it would be fun to take the idea of the brushies, which we're just using the like Emmett construction body, and keep those orange and blue colors, but create some weird characters.
Nice.
So there's a whole battle between them, and then trying to kind of channel like Toxic Crusader, like 90s gross out toys with the toilet mobile. And yeah, really happy with that build.
Too funny. So, hey, Yano, can we ask a few more questions here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let me start with you, and then I'll bring Lene back in. But so, out of all of Naomi's builds, which ones do you think were your favorites that you kind of liked or gravitated towards?
You're starting with me?
I'm starting with you.
Yeah, I mean, the Super Sewer Baby lore, like, it's not even so much a build, it's more just the recurring characters.
Yeah.
So I liked just in general her storytelling through building, but I do have a small build that she sent me, which has obviously a very special place in my heart. And I've got some photos in a post I did today that I'll share, but there was some build that she did that had a bunch of porta potties in it, and I don't remember does anyone remember like why?
This is the Let's Go Camping challenge.
Yes, it was.
So yeah, so it was a collab where everyone's like doing different parts of the campground and things, and like I've never been like a potty humor person, but the way that Naomi did it just always made me laugh. And so she had all of these porta potties, but there was one specific one that was rainbow. And I was like, that's amazing. I love that you did a rainbow porta potty. And I'm sure it had some name of like every porta potty is awesome or something too. Like, because everything and just because I said I loved the rainbow porta potty you built, she took it upon herself to build me a trans flag porta potty. And it's got a little rainbow poop emoji dot tile for the handle. And then I don't think it came with Super Sewer Baby in it, but it does have a toilet and a toilet paper roll in there. And of course I put Super Sewer Baby. So like, this is the fact that, I didn't ask for this, but just that she was charmed, that I was charmed by her rainbow porta potty, and that she took it one step further. And I think just like sent this to me in the mail, probably the first time that I got stickers.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that is totally cool.
Rainbow porta potty and trans flag porta potty are my favorite builds.
Very nice. Glenn says his favorite build was the Big Panda Camp Out where they had the diving contest. I remember that build.
Yeah.
It's on her thing where I don't know what she has like 20 pandas in there. I don't know. There were a lot.
Yeah, it was like cliff diving pandas, and they had like a judges table, and they were all showing scores.
Yeah.
It was great.
I think she told me this story. She went to about a couple of the Lego stores in that area and asking to buy all the panda heads they had there at the back. It was just
yeah, because she would go and get the minifigure, build your own minifigures.
Yeah,
and you can get 15 pieces in there. It doesn't necessarily have to be complete figures. So she just went hog wild on all the panda masks she could find. Yeah,
I actually I would I go to our store often, and what was it? A few months ago, they came back in. So I kept sending her like, hey, they're back in. She's like, can you pick them up? You know, I'm not going to be there. Can you pick them up for me? So I still have like, I think I have like 5 or 10 that I had saved for her. So, yep. You want them? Okay.
I'll take at least one.
Okay.
So, well, Deneen, do you have a favorite build of Naomi's?
I do. And I just found
Oh, wait. Oh, I got 2 people going. I said Deneen.
Oh, no, go ahead.
And then I'll come with Lene. Sorry. Right after that. Go ahead.
You did. I heard Lene. I'm sorry.
Nope, you're good.
Not a problem. So my bond with Naomi is a lot of it is through Micropolis. So I have to go with some of her Micropolis builds because some of them are just amazing. She always takes something different and does something different with it. But her harbor, she wanted to make sure that she had this beautiful harbor for Micropolis, and we would always be like cramming in lots of little tiny boats together just to make sure that they would go in there. In this pick a Micropolis, I think I love them all. So she's got one that's got the lighthouse, which she set up to light up, in fact, in Micropolis. But she was a big proponent of using what Bunker Harris had modified the standard Micropolis standard, which normally doesn't allow for light and wires to be going through there, but he's got what he calls the Micropolis standard 2.0, which allows for lights to go through. And she really loved that because she was all about making everything as special as she possibly could.
Absolutely. Well, thanks. Lene, now everyone's so excited. I understand. Go ahead.
So, okay, I had to find it. So no, it gave me time to find it on her IG page, and I noticed she collaborated with the Dream Builders. Let me go back. I just lost it. So I think it was one of the last ones she got an award for. And oh my gosh, the parts usage. Okay, here it is. I found it. And I don't know if you can even pull up her IG, but it's right here. And it is, what does she call it? Her Golden Spine Tower. This is one. You remember the parts usage, how she used like the golden gates and everything. It was like she used them vertically instead of horizontally. It was like, and the workings of the inside, it was just amazing how she just built it and kept it together. And one of the things that I appreciate about Naomi was Naomi mastered her craft. She liked technique. You know, she liked to do things the right way, and she wanted to represent herself and anybody, she wanted to represent them in excellence. So that was one of my favorite builds. And like I said, I think that's one of her last ones that she really got, and that she got an award for, that she displayed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she got an award, and I did too. We were both doing the collab there.
It was a collab, yeah, that's right.
So no, that's really cool. Let's go Matthew, and then we can do Debo. So what's your favorite builds that you have from Naomi?
Ooh.
Or that Naomi did, sorry.
I'd say everything, really. Just everything she did was so fun and different to what everybody else was doing. But I'll probably say as well, obviously, the Forest Friends has a special place in my heart because we had so much fun with that. Remember, we had like Brad Rat or something, Rat Pit or something. We had all these fun different characters that just... everything she did was amazing, like the Spice Girls pirate ship, anything pandas. It was all just so fun and different to what everybody else was doing out there. And if it was always on the table, I remember she told me this story with all the serious pirate builders, and her build was there, and they got a bit angry with her, but everything just stood out from the rest of the group. And she just didn't care what she did. She had to be different, and it was just awesome, whatever she did.
Cool. Thank you. Debo, do you have a favorite build of Naomi's?
I have quite a few favorite builds of Naomi's. You see in the comments, the BBN Tower was one that was pretty awesome. And of course, the Cliff Diving Pandas, classic. But I think my favorite build, not necessarily because of the build, but because of what it awoke in her, was the first time, I think it was some kind of dragon build she was making, and she put black and lavender together and then called it Blavender, and then just kept going on the Blavender train until it got to the last stop on the line. Like she rode Blavender all the way through. And so yeah, every time I heard Blavender after that, I just smiled inside.
That's too funny. Yeah.
And hashtag Blavender, she was working that too. But yeah, it was
the
such a thing after that.
Oh, what are you holding up there, Matthew?
That's the dragon, I believe, with Liz on top of it, the little friend's doll.
Yeah.
That it?
Okay.
Huh.
Nice.
So awesome.
Very nice. Actually,
yes,
I would
BB
say
and Thomas.
my favorite build before I bring Yano back in to continue. I think my favorite build, because I think it was so different, was her Rorschach.
Oh
prints.
yeah.
Those were she did one on a build one time. She goes, and I don't know how she got into it. She just started doing it, and I just thought it was awesome. Now my undergraduate degree is in psychology, so I was like, oh woo! But it was really cool, and she did a couple of them.
Yeah.
And I thought they were really, really neat. She didn't do the entire series, but she did several of them. So I think that was probably why. But.
Yeah. For me, since I didn't get asked, I'll just jump in.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean.
You're good.
I thought I asked you first, but maybe I went wrong. No,
it was Yano. Yano first.
Sorry.
You're good. So for me, there's two of them. So because of my love of musical theater, and also her like changing things up. It was her Pirates of Penzance. It was her Pandas of Penzance.
Yeah.
And then so for one of her whenever she came into something, she just came in and did it, right? She went full force. So she joined us at Portlug, and I was doing. We had just gotten a CouvCon, so we had taken over a shop in the Vancouver Mall, and she wasn't able to be there, but she dropped off several builds for us, and so she had made and this is down to her detail is she did a Micropolis, but it was Jurassic Park. So it was Jurassic Park in micro scale, and down to her detail, she had 1, 2, 3. So you had them all numbered, so you knew exactly what to put up where and all that. I'm sure you know PT, like how she's like very specific on how she's displaying, even though she's not there. She is like she had to be there in her full force. So that's one thing that I love about her. And it was so cool to go because there we had there was another Jeep over there, and so it was cool to show the kids and do you know what this is? Can you tell what this is? Like, that's the Jeep. That's this dinosaur, even though it's this tiny. Yep. I loved it. They put all those tiny details in there.
Yeah, that was that Mega Micropolis Megaverse or Multiverse. I forget. There was a brick. I showed it but there was a brick she actually had printed for everyone who participated in that. That was at Bricks by the Bay 2022. Yeah, that was fun. All right, I'm gonna go off and let Yano come back and finish our tour here.
Yeah, I got a few more builds to share. There we go. So the next one up on this is another one from Matthew. Do you want to talk about this, Matthew?
Sure. So I've actually got the build behind me. I'll show it in person as well, as we can see. I built one of our very many Zoom call gift exchange, and for this I loved trying to replicate our studio spaces. So we've got the Daily Bugle behind Naomi, and the Parts Draw Super Sewer baby. We've got hang on, let me get the sticker off. I love what you do, Yana, with all the different stickers and stuff. So I've got her little sticker in there. Just got the whole setup there, the parts drawers. I love how the blast building is and it was very nice. So we've got Naomi opening a gift here, and such a cool build because I had such fond memories from all of our Zoom calls, and I love the challenge of trying to get our spaces as accurate as possible.
It's so cool, Matthew. It really it reminds me a lot of the builds that I was doing for the Tricky Bricks intro animation, where I was building everyone's studios. And I wanted to do this for Naomi, and unfortunately I didn't have the time. So it made me so excited when I saw that you had done it.
Oh, thank you.
Just to a T. It's such great details. And then this is your Lego City, and your
this is my bedroom. So got the shelves up there. I use like that owl as the big Harry Potter one, and there's like there's a little downtown diner and stuff.
Oh, that's the diner. That's the modular diner. Totally.
Yeah, I tried, and then you've also got. I'm not sure. I have a big Stay Puft Man in my city, so you can see him at the front. It was really hard trying to do it, but
nice.
It was
and
just
is that
so
your
much fun.
sig fig that you're holding?
Yeah, that's more. She actually sent me a little brickhead. I believe PT was asked if this looked like me, actually. So, but that's me holding myself
so
in a brickhead form there that she sent me one year. So
Nice.
Awesome. That is so perfect.
thank you.
Yeah, that's sweet.
And her opening a gift.
Yeah.
Awesome. That panda video tile too. I remember Grant mentioned that he had a lot of them, and she was like, "I'll take whatever you got."
Yeah,
Yep,
she loved
yeah, that was our-
incorporating them in all the buildings.
Yeah, that was our first interaction. And I'm like, oh, pandas. Okay, so I had like some of the like Dots bracelet pandas, and then the video Tyler pandas. And so when I saw her again at Cascade, I was like, here you go. Here's an entire stack of pandas.
Awesome. That's so good, Matthew. And so this is from Dream Dynamic, who I believe was a guest on Naomi's stream at some point. That does these builds in live trees, which is such a cool, unique idea.
Yeah.
So this is a tribute to her. I believe that's her as a pirate fairy flying out of the tree. Really, really cool.
And that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that was during one of her, what was it, like the Brickanista comes to you, like she had like during the pandemic, she had one of those like, I'm gonna go to you and do a series. I think she went to their house one time, and
She did, yeah.
That's right, yeah. Very, very cool.
Yeah, like Brickanista on the move or something.
Yep. Yep. She did one for my porch.
Very cool. And then next up is another one from Dutch Hooded One. No?
Yes.
The babies are cute.
Uh-huh. This was one of Naomi's many catchphrases. You can look up the hashtag. It's dope,
Yep.
yo.
Okay.
Debo, do you know the origin of that catchphrase?
I don't, but it was one that we used a lot in the Tricky Bricks chat, and it's been around forever.
Oh, and then next up is one from Dawn, Miss Slowbrickta. So that's her her June 4th 4-piece build from 2021, where she posted a daily brick limit build every single day of the year, a build with however many pieces the day of that month was.
A Herculean effort, yeah.
Right.
And one of her special interviews, Builder Insights, very sweet. I mean, Naomi had, most of us have probably been featured in these at some point. I love, like, she was just so good at what she did. Just always having a graphic and promotional angle. I was very, very impressed at her professionalism with those. This very sweet picture. Denise, do you want to talk about you all getting to meet up?
Well, my sister finally got out to BrickCon a couple of years ago and got to meet Naomi, which was kind of a highlight for me because there were two very important people in my life and both connected to Lego. In fact, I don't know that Dawn would have been on Lego Masters if it hadn't been for Naomi, even though it's kind of a very circuitous thing.
It's a
Naomi
tale
and
that must be told.
Yeah, Naomi and I actually interviewed for Lego Masters, and I put down my sister as an alternate. And so but I didn't, I'm not surprising her. I let her know I put her down. So she's like, well, should I go interview? Should I go submit my application too? And I said, well, yeah, probably, I guess, if you want. And she put it in, and they kept talking to her, and she's going, oh, so are you going to put me on with my sister and all this stuff? And like, they totally ghosted us. They totally ghosted Naomi and I. But my sister and brother ended up on the show, and they wouldn't let her tell me.
Well, it's a very sweet picture of the three of you.
We don't hold any grudges. It's not a problem. We don't hold any grudges.
Also, the funny thing is that behind these pictures, I actually took these pictures. They were like hanging out. I'm like, I took so many, and she's like, there were so many. I'm like, yep, that's what I do.
Awesome. And Jeff in the chat is saying, I'll always remember driving from Seattle down to attend Bricks by the Bay 2022 and Naomi being so excited that I was going to be taking photos for builds and the full collabs she was part of.
Yeah, Jeff, you do a great job. Thank you.
Sweet. All right, so next up is another one from Spot the Magic Ninja. Is this a Halloween stream, Debo? Is that...
This was a mock improv. And I believe it was Halloween themed.
Okay. It wasn't actually Halloween.
Spot's got other pictures in there, I think, of the actual build. I can't quite remember what it was that we were building.
Cool. And are you dressed as Hunter S. Thompson?
I surely am dressed as Dr. Thompson there.
Of course. And Naomi as a witch, and Remy with his amazing brick-built armor Mandalorian.
Yep.
And Lil Scrap, just tropical, or do you know if he's dressed as something?
I think he was supposed to be Pitbull.
Okay, sure. And then star of the show, Spot the Magic Ninja, dressed as Naomi's character, Batmanda.
Yep. Batmanda in the flesh.
It's just delightfully creepy.
It is so perfect.
Really, really cool. And so Spot, again, we all met through Tricky Lug, frequent mock improv member, and and Batmanda's secret identity. Maybe they've never been seen in the same place at once.
Yeah, I remember this was a Halloween theme, and it involved some kind of Indiana Jones escaping.
Oh, the Indiana Jones run. Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just want to say, I know in Spot's posts, he's very heartbroken, as are we all. And you know, he says in this caption that he wants to do a video, and it's just too hard right now. But I just want to say I know how much Spot meant to Naomi too, and it was really special. Anytime I was on stream with her, you would always see Spot super active in the comment section. Really, really sweet and talented guy. Also, is Naomi's witch hat leopard print?
Yes.
That's cool.
That's amazing. All right, and then this is another one from me. So, you know, we all kind of interpreted the tribute in different ways, but my impression from what Naomi wanted was for us to actually build our favorite moment with her. And so I wanted to try and actually do this. And this is the one where Matthew, I would have loved to have built her studio.
Yeah.
Just didn't feel like I had the time to do it justice. but this was my favorite recap episode, where it was the land and sea episode, and the teams were split apart. So one builder built a sea animal and one builder built a land animal. And so they'd done that preview at the end of the previous week's episode, and Naomi was like, "We should do that. Like, let's build things," which we hadn't done at all, like trying to follow the challenges. I said, okay. It was right before Talk Like a Pirate Day, and I was already thinking of building a parrot. So I was like, I'll take land animal if you want to take sea animal. And so we didn't know what each other were building, and we came live, and we looked at each other's builds before we went live, but it was like remarkably similar in scale and size, like each like 2 studs wide and about the same height. So that's Naomi with her lavender seahorse. And I believe, Matthew, you had built something with using that leg technique that she had seen and thought was cool and wanted to try.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember what now, but I remember her showing it on one of the Zoom calls, and she said how much she loved that challenge, and she loved that. I think that's where the lavender started off. I'm not quite sure. But she loved the color scheme and just the whole idea of mashing a build up.
And then she's got her and like a crocodile hat on and a sea turtle shirt on, because she's fully in theme with being a sea animal. And then I was doing this wacky thing throughout these recap episodes where I was painting my face like different Lego face prints. And so this week I went full cat. And Dawn was our guest this week, and just she made an axolotl actually as well out of Lego. So all of us were just really making each other laugh this episode, and it was so cool being able to hold our builds up and make them into a cohesive build. So that was like the Brickanista moment, where it was just felt such a strong connection. Had such a fun time streaming with her. And then I've got a couple other little moments with her. This was the graphic I created for our recap show.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So cool.
All archived on Brickanista's YouTube channel. And then another favorite episode was the finale episode. She and I decided we wanted to dress formal for it, and we got Moto as a guest, and he was up formal wear as well.
Nice.
And we both love pirates, so she started. I usually had thrown a pirate party on September 19th, Talk Like a Pirate Day, and so in 2020 I did a virtual event that she attended as a guest. That was like an interactive event, so she was part of, and we've been celebrating Talk Like a Pirate Day on various live streams ever since then. So this was on her channel with Dave Morgan with his live parrots. He didn't really know anything or care anything about pirates, but obviously having live parrots, it's like
yeah.
So that was a really fun one. And then this is just a roundup of some of the meetups. So that top one is that's my wife Heather sitting by me, and then Naomi and Grant. So Naomi, Grant, and I, as Grant kind of said, we all met in person for the first time the same day, going to Bricks and Minifigs, and then going out to food trucks. And my dog Oliver, who has since passed, and her dog Kay Sarah were hanging out with each other too, which was really sweet. Yeah, just a couple other times I've met up with her.
Yeah, no, do you know if she ever finished her Zhengzhou pirate ship?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
I know she had been working on it.
Which pirate ship was it?
The female Chinese pirate Zhen Yishao.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was completed. I don't. Yeah.
That's another one from Dawn. How to Be a Pirate book. And Debo, you want to take it away?
Yeah. This was a mock improv. I didn't get to participate in. So I just wanted to honor it because it's one of the ones I kind of play back more than most of the other stuff. But it's so if you're not familiar with the premise of mock improv, so mock improv generally it would revolve around a CMF series, and then you'd open bags or you'd have like a certain number of figures that could be placed onto a wheel, and then the wheel gets spun, and then you have to build around whatever figure that it lands on as your main character. But with this one in particular, it was based on the Thanos mech set. So Thanos was going to be the main character anyway. But then the other thing is you had a place. So the chat would throw out suggestions. They'd all get loaded into the wheel, and then it's spun, and then you get a random place, and then also a random action what the folks are doing in there. So this one was Thanos in a litter box having brunch. And yeah, I watched that one again not too long ago, and yeah, it from the moment litter box was thrown out there, immediately it wasn't even put in the options, but it just kept coming up as just like, wouldn't it be awesome to do that? And so by the end of the thing, it got thrown in there, and of course it lands on litter box, and you could see just the entire panel just practically fall out of their seats because it landed on litter box. And then when it got to brunch, of course, hilarity is going to ensue. But yeah, so after I watched that stream, I was like, my goodness, that is just the best. I missed out on it. So this is my shout out to that stream right there. And the essence of what mock improv is just like finding the craziest thing you could think of within the rules, within the confines, within the strict number of pieces you usually had to deal with, and the time, and just try to accomplish whatever you can. So there were some mad scrambles. There were some really fun things. God, going back through and looking at the episodes, I couldn't believe how many that we actually were able to accomplish. But yeah,
Debo,
wonderful stuff if you want to go back there and watch.
Oh yeah, well, and I would say that episode is the classic mock improv episode, and I do have to say, Glenn is the reason why there was a litter box, because he kept throwing that out there. Because and he's apologizing for it.
No need to apologize, because Mew,
Mew, yes,
Mew, exactly. And yeah, I'm so jealous you got to be a part of that one, PT. I really am.
It was a fun, it was crazy, and yeah, I've done several, but yeah, that was the classic. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That mock improv is such a brilliant idea to me, and definitely something that I would like to carry on.
Yeah.
I love this one it was always like her elevator pitch too. Like I was standing next to her quite a few times when she would explain mock improv to someone, and it was always like, one time we did having brunch with Thanos in a litter box.
Yeah.
Because it just like instantly you get it, and it's so weird.
And then in this build too, I wanted to give a couple shout outs to Naomi. So there are some pieces in here that she favored above all others. So turntables, she absolutely loved turntables. Anytime she would pick up a turntable during her stream, she would say, "This is my favorite piece."
Cool.
And then there's a round brick underneath the plate there on the table, just like your regular round brick. And she would always refer to those as Palisades bricks. So that held a special place in my heart. And yeah, there's her sig fig, of course, there. So yeah, and it's not the Thanos that came with the armor set. No, this is much more beefy and jacked Thanos. But it's the only one I had at hand because I never got that suit. But yeah, it's that build is right here next to me. It's probably going to stick around for a while.
Awesome. Did you set a timer for yourself to build that?
I did set a timer. I had to hit pause on occasion, but I was able to bring it in under just an hour.
So, nice.
Yeah. Photography not included.
So good. And next up, we've got PT's build.
PT. Yeah, I was having it's funny when you're trying to think of all these things, and one of the things that actually got me was her characters and her storytelling, and we've talked about this before, but she just went on with her storytelling. She had these great characters. I look at a minifig, I'm like, okay, yeah. She just put a whole backstory to it, and it wasn't just a chapter or a book. It was like volumes and volumes on these characters. And so just kind of to honor her, I kind of recreated some of those characters that she had there. Of course, I have her two sig figs, her pirate and her studio fig, and then Earl Grey, the steampunk seal, is between them. And then, of course, we talked about earlier, I think the highlight of the Super Baby Champion League. I think it was the Justice League. She changed it later to Champions League. And, of course, Super Sewer Baby, and then Brainy Baby, and she had Brickcon Baby, and I think Super Sparkle Baby. And then, of course, their nemesis, the janitor and the Brushies. Although it was funny because there was another, in one of her stories, as the janitor was plotting his next thing, she had the Brushies change their heads and they had bushies, and she called them bushies, and they were hiding out in this green foliage in the background, which I thought was funny. Yeah. And then, of course, Batmanda and Chubbin there. Yeah. And yeah. She was a big Batman fan. And so then, of course, a couple of her stickers there that she had. So I just wanted to kind of just honor her storytelling and all her characters. And there's many more. These were just the ones. Yeah. So.
It's such a beautiful display piece. I love I want to show my stickers off like that now.
Yeah. Yeah, I did it more, just for kind of like a little display to show off all those. So, yep.
I'm just curious of your technique here. Like, there's Technic pieces holding the stickers up?
Yeah, those are Technic wire pieces. I think they came in the Technic like remote control car, and it's a little yellow piece. Yeah, no, I can get you the technical. I don't have to. Yeah, but yeah, you can slide a wire in there, and since the stickers are thinner, I have a piece of cardboard right behind it, so
gotcha.
It stands them up.
Very cool.
They're wire holders, is what they are.
Awesome.
So much detail.
Yeah. This looks like it would be an 18+ like display piece set.
Well, Brainy Baby, I had to find that piece. That was I didn't have that in my collection. I thought that was an interesting piece. Comes in pink and green, just if you want to know.
Very cool.
So, yes, and she used a white rubber band, a Lego rubber band to attach it on there.
Nice.
So next up is another one of mine that I posted today. So, Batmanda and Chubbin. Like I said, with the Super Sewer Baby, I just do so much with minifigures right now, and I've got such a nice selection of minifigure pieces. I just thought it would be really cool to expand on those characters a little bit. So I went with like a more black and white color scheme for Batmanda, and I used the Dreams body instead of the like regular little panda body for Chubbin.
It's very dynamic.
So this one's Naomi's, of course. And I like Chubbin always had more of a like kid or little brother energy to me than Robin specifically. Like there's one of my favorite sequences with them. It's like Batmanda is feeding Chubbin ice cream. So I don't know that Chubbin was supposed to be Robin, but that's what I went with for these characters. And then I created a couple of villain characters as well. So that's my version of Batmanda. Chubbin using some cape pieces and a rubber band.
Yeah, those are cool.
And then I just thought it would be cool, since I have some animal heads, to create some villains for them. So I went with Joke Bear and Polar Freeze.
Oh, that is so sweet.
And of course, Batmanda and Chubbin save the day, as they do.
Oh, this spot. It's awesome.
And then we've got one from another Tricky Lug member, Brickaroo Bonsai. talking about Tricky Bricks weekly challenges and being inspired by Naomi's baby brick bunker challenge. So I think that's 4 different shots of the brick bunker. Very cool virtual build in studio.
Nice.
And next up, we've got Grant.
So for my birthday, and so I kind of went with that same like something that it was a memory, but I didn't want to like build the full. So for my birthday, she came down I do an event, and she came down to my event, and she had the package made, and also with the card, which her and her card. So she made sure that I had to read the card first. I had to read the card before I was able to open the package, open the present. And so I was gonna wait to open the things, but I'm like, okay, she said it, I have to do it. And so I'm reading the card, and she's like, so it says in there, happy birthday and stuff, and like, you can never say that I never give you flowers. And so of course I'm assuming it's bouquet or something, but it's not. It's the tiger, so we all know what the tiger has involved. So I had to build a panda. So we got our tiger, but so I had to build the panda with the Batman legs, and of course another flower for him. So.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah.
Amazing. My wife Heather and I were just laughing about that night because your invitation, it was like these specific hours for the event, but then the party was going to continue, and she showed up at like 9 or 10 p.m.
Yep.
and like a lot of us had been there for a few hours and were like wrapping up and ready to go, and she's like, but the invitation said this party was going all night, and like I'm here for the party. I just loved that attitude.
Yep.
It was really, really great.
Yep.
We just got a couple more here. Or actually, I think this is the last one. So I'm not familiar with this. I think they are local to Portland. Original Citrus. Do you know them, Grant?
I don't think so.
So talking about the first time that they met Naomi was for a Lego Masters viewing party.
Oh,
So
yes. Caleb, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we kind of at Portland had put out a call like, is anybody able to host a viewing party? And he lives out in Aloha, and he's like, yes, I want to do that. So yeah, she was one of the very few people that came out to that event. So he's very happy, and so he's like, I have to build this for her because that's exactly what that was.
Nice. I mean, the TV screen with the Lego Masters on it is perfect. And then, so that's the Lego version, just in case you can't tell the difference. And then this is the real life version. And they really captured Naomi's outfit. So you see her cap and leather jacket, and then over there.
Oh yeah,
really well done.
Yep.
Nice detail.
Yeah, very well done.
Awesome.
That is right on.
So yeah, the other posts on here are just the pinned posts at the top about streaming and everything. So certainly look at this great image of Make Time to Play. But that's everything on the Brickanista tribute. But if anyone's watching and they haven't gotten it in, I mean, this page isn't going anywhere, so by all means, keep posting. I will say I'm PT and I are kind of adminning it. I don't get alerts if people have sent a collaboration, so I'm sorry if I left anyone waiting for a while. I have to like go in there and check messages. So if you want to keep adding posts, by all means do. I definitely want to do some for Talk Like a Pirate Day in September. But I won't be checking it regularly, so either be patient or send them from the block a private message. Maybe just let me know that there's something waiting there.
Oh, thank you, Yano. I appreciate that. So wanted to end. I know Naomi, Yano, and I had a conversation, and Naomi had left us a lot of material, a lot of shows, a lot of graphics, a lot. I mean, she is definitely, her presence is out there, and so I kind of wanted to ask everyone as we close out here: do you have a favorite show? I know there was a little talking about mock improv, but she had, the Builder's Insight, and she had the tech tips, and obviously the Lego Master reviews and things like that. I didn't know if anyone,
Thursdays.
yeah, I didn't know if you had a favorite. So Lene, I'm going to start with you. Do you
Okay.
have a favorite show or episode that she did?
Can't think of a favorite. If I had to say it was a favorite, I think it was the spotlight, because it was one-on-one with like the mock improvs. They were fun,
Yeah.
but I really enjoyed our spotlight, the one-on-one, and then the tech tip came from it or was there. And the reason I like that is because Naomi and I would color a lot on FaceTime. So it reminded me of just that time where it was no cameras, just us, just kind of coloring and chatting. And that had to be one of my favorite episodes because it was like just me and her just having a chat. And that was special to me.
Cool. What about you, Yano? Do you have a favorite episode or a favorite series of shows that you had?
I mean, probably mock improv. I took a little bit of mock improv, or not mock improv. I took a little bit of improvisation classes back in the day, and I forget who said, someone in one of their captions said something of that it was very yes and. Was that you, Debo? That's
Yeah,
just
that was
that's
me.
just Naomi's personality in general.
Yeah.
So for anyone that doesn't know improv training, it's like you don't want to shut down your scene partner. So instead of saying no but, it's yes and. So it's like you take what your scene partner is saying and then you expand on it. And that was always Naomi's vibe of just like whatever your idea was a great idea and she was behind you 100%. So I feel like that just really exemplifies her personality. And it was such a cool way of like, I think I did maybe 4 of them or so. It was such a cool way of that you would have a build after like an hour and a half that there's no way you would ever have thought to build it without this happening. And you would see like 3 to 5 other people have something drastically different from what was in your head, but all based on the same premise. And it was just such a cool exercise in creativity.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I really did. All right, Debo, did you have a favorite show, series, or episode of Naomi's?
Yeah, well, as far as the series goes, yeah, mock improv was I was there for it every time out. Just watching them is one thing because you get to throw your thoughts into the comments, you get to throw your choices in there, and maybe they're going to hit on the wheel, but you're also vying for space against Joel or Glenn, getting their off the wall things in there. But building was great too because usually it was 3 or 4 other AFOLs in there, all just coming at this idea from different perspectives, hearing the same exact words, but coming up with very different takes on it. Yeah, one of my favorites. I can't remember the characters, but thumb wrestling on the Cliffs of Insanity, and that one I just threw myself all in. I'm just like, I need to make some serious cliffs here. The thumb wrestling is going to take care of itself when I get to the top. And then another one, clowning around in a fun house. That was the Looney Tunes release. That was a CMF specific one that we had. That was a great time. But yeah, it was just being in there with everybody else, just trying to keep it as secret as you could what you were building, and then showing it at the end. And it was. It was a blast for me to watch and be a part of. Thrifty Thursdays were always fun too because she would stretch those small piece count sets out for couple hours for like a 200-piece set, and yeah, it'd just go. And then Mario would, the little interactive Mario figure would pop in there with his dead eyes, and then she'd go off on about dead eyes Mario for a little bit, and then he'd start creeping her out, so she put it off to the side. Yeah, there were just great times all around with Naomi. Yeah,
that's funny. I know, I agree. Eric also said she stopped by his place for Brickanista on the Move. She did that, I think, during the lockdown. She was visiting people on their porches and whatnot. And I know, Danine, did she go to you?
Yep.
Nice.
That's what I thought. Well, so do you have a favorite show or episode that she did or series?
I'm actually going to go with one of the collabs. I loved the Daily Brick Limit. That was probably my favorite. It's probably the one I will return to over again. And not just because my sister did 365 of them.
No competition.
No competition. She was doing it while she was filming Lego Masters, apparently. Whatever. No, I mean, I love that one a lot. I think I still, the collabs to me were my connection with Naomi more so than the shows. And I know that a lot of people didn't have that chance to be next to her all the time. But I think I still have at least one of her quilt squares, and I'm going to treasure that puppy. So
that was very nice. I was gonna say Monica Berry. She liked another vote for Mock Improv. She wish she caught most of them live. Take small comfort in. Very nice. Yeah, Mock Improv is always fun. Matthew, do you have a favorite show, episode, or anything?
I loved Mock Improv as well. It was just so fun. I remember there was this one. Can't quite remember what minifigure series it was. But everybody built all these cool builds, and then Rob was on there. And I built, can't remember who it was. I think it was the Jack Stone figures holding the Forest Friends at ransom. And Rob was just dying because he was like, we built a kid. This kid's here, and he's built a ransom. But also love Bricks on the Move. I remember one, I was watching it, and all of a sudden a medium started speaking to Brickanista in the parking lot. I've always remembered that.
Yes.
That was funny. Yeah.
She just randomly came up to her, came up to her car window and just started talking to her, and and she didn't cut away or anything. It was just that whole conversation.
She turned the camera to her and she got a reading.
Brickanista raw right there.
Just everything she did was just so fun and interesting. So just everything I loved as well.
Very cool. Grant.
I would say definitely I'm going with the idea of Mock Improv was my favorite. But also I did love when so it was Lene, it was
the gold pieces I was thinking.
Oh yeah, those. But also I'm also going with back when we did the community streams. So we were building the Daily Bugle.
The Bugle.
Her and I bought Daily Bugle on the same day. We were kind of spurred into it, and so it was you, and then it was what's her name? Two Humble Bricks.
Too Humble. Mm-hmm. Yvette.
Yeah. And so both of you had already had it in your backlog, and so we were all building it together. But I love that piece, and then her moving that into when it was Brick Mamba and all that, just that amazing, just who she brought together. I love that.
Everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, she was really good at bringing people in. It's funny. I really love Mock Improv, but my favorite series was Thrifty Thursdays. I was always amazed at these little small sets I'm like, where was that? I never saw that on the shelf because they always advertise these big, $150, $300 sets, but they never talk about all these little sets that. And she highlighted those all the time. And I remember with Debo that one time it was a little space set, and it was so cool. I built one. I went out. I bought actually I think 3 of them or something, and built an entire fleet.
You built 5. I think.
Yeah.
But it was the hold on a second. I got it just over here.
It was the Space Cyborg. Set,
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
It was this number. I threw helicopter blades on it, but it's like the cyborg drone.
Yeah. And it was really, it was just a cool. I was like, really? And it was. I think it happened to be on sale also at Target. That's why I ended up picking up so many. But they were,
and it's like a $10 set, so it's awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. So that was probably, that's my favorite series. I think she even asked one time, she was cutting down. She says, I can't do all this. So she goes, which one? And I said, anything as long as you keep Thrifty Thursday. Because that was, I always look forward to it, catch it, and find some set that I didn't know existed. So I really enjoyed that. So I am going to sign off and let Yano back in, and then we will close out the show. But before I do, let's see. Have Studs Will Travel, another mock improv vote. It was a very popular show.
Yes.
Late night weekend shows were always a source of good gossip too.
Yeah.
You stick around, there's talking going on. That's for sure.
If you can find some of those extended play episodes, please sit down and watch the whole thing. It is definitely worth it.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I am going to let Yano close this out, and I'm going to bring her back on if I can get rid of me.
I also do want to say Melanie's in the chat. So Melanie, we actually did start with your song at first. So that's what made Deneen cry. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yano, are you're on mute, Yano?
My wife Heather just popped in to say hi with our cat.
We dressed our cat as a panda in tribute to him. He's actually wearing a Batman panda outfit.
Yeah, that's Carlo. He's not usually allowed down here in the basement.
He's freaking out.
He loves it.
Also, actually, well, can you spotlight me again for just a moment? It was far too subtle to pick up on camera, but we went for a fem's face print today.
Yay! Because
it was something that I had done with Naomi, and so I painted the constellation face.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll post pictures on my Instagram, but from that recent space character, I thought I hadn't done it for a while, and it was such a tradition with Naomi that I was like, I'm gonna do something special with my makeup today. So that got my little femme space print. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in. PT, if you wanna, PT's got the controls. So we ended everything. Before we close out, does anyone have any final words they just want to say?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Naomi.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Naomi.
Miss you.
And yeah, so I'm gonna set us up, and then maybe we can all say this in unison. Since we're streaming, it'll be all chaotic, not in sync, but that's okay. So as they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network,
may the
clutch
be with you.
Love you, Naomi.
Yeah.
Love you.
It's your
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.